billion worth of open interest on shorts for Tesla right now. So I actually sold some puts on Tesla, and I probably underestimated how far I was going to fall. I sold the $1,500 put, and it got right there. I mean, as soon as it hit 15 or 1,700, it went straight to 1,500.
Like cargo shorts?
I'm sweating it. No, red shorts.
Oh. I don't know what that means. I don't know what short. Like I've watched
Shorting
the
means,
Big Short movie,
yeah,
and I have no idea what happened.
that means that you're bet against it,
You're
basically.
betting that it's gonna fail.
Yes.
How
Yeah.
do you do that? What is that? How
The
do you?
stock
How do
market
you?
is a big gambling game, realistically.
Well, if you
Like
have margin, you can sell shares that you don't own. If you don't have margin, you can just buy a put, which is an option.
It's made up.
It is really made up. It's
It's not a
basically
thing.
it's a big
It's
casino.
just.
I mean, no, it's a thing.
It's
But,
definitely
like,
a thing.
It's a thing, but it's a made up.
There's $35 billion worth of open interest on puts right now.
It's
and
just a bunch of old guys
I guarantee you,
trying to roll snake eyes.
somebody made millions, maybe billions betting against Tesla when it hit 1,700.
Like all that money that billionaires made during the COVID pandemic was them like shuffling money around in the stock market and just doing it well.
Yeah, so, like there's some of our representatives and senators and stuff. They went to those secret meetings and they sold all their shit. And right when they heard the pandemic was about to happen, but apparently insider trading it's not illegal for.
But didn't they get away with that because like they're not in control of it? Like there was just some firms that did it for them, or they were just literally on their cell.
I don't think that they're I don't think they're held to the same standard as other people, like private citizens and business owners and stuff.
Sam Dunn invests in Tattoo Inc.
They can do whatever they want. Say what?
Sam Dunn invests in Tattoo Inc.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there's last comments.
Oh, you can see it? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
What's going on, Vasily? Caden. What's going on? Custom Lows. Nick Woodgrains. Andy Magano. Franklin, shut the fuck up. Warren, what's going on? Ryan, Colton.
Franklin, how you feeling, bro?
The Rock? The Rock's in here? Dwayne Johnson?
Oh,
yo, what? Yo, wild.
Holy shit.
Fast and the Furious 9's going to space, I heard.
Is it only 9? I feel like it's
I don't know. I stopped watching 14. After 4.
Yeah.
I think they want to do 10 and then they're
so trash. They're like just movies to make money now. It's so annoying.
It's garbage.
Damn.
I watched a bit of the one where they like ended up on a they were on a runway for some fucking reason. Like
forever.
Race a car.
That's like 5 movies ago. That's like
was it? Okay, yeah. That was the last one that I saw, and I was like, all right, this isn't about cars anymore.
Yeah, the last one I saw, they were like dragging a vault down the road with Hellcats or something stupid.
Dude, that was like the 4th one.
That's what I say. I stopped watching it after that one.
It's only gotten more ridiculous since.
Yeah, like they're not international.
That was the kind of shit that got me into cool cars when I was a kid.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Like him pulling up in the lightning when he goes to his work and like the Eclipse with 18 gears or whatever it was.
I don't care how you feel about Fast and Furious. They legit like put tuning back on the map.
Oh yeah,
they made parts cheaper, made things easier. I mean, they
changed the game. It inspired like a whole generation.
Yeah,
of, like us car people. So.
For sure.
Yeah. Now they're international spies and whatever they do. I don't know.
I don't know what the Gen Z people are gonna do, but they're fucked. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. Do they even modify stuff like young kids now? Do they? No.
Yeah. There's a kid down here that's like 19 and he just chopped a truck frame and he's laying frame.
Yeah, they cut things, they put wheels on, and that's their show truck or show car. That's it. That's what they do.
I like it.
He was doing audio, and then he just got sick of shit breaking. So he took a little break from that.
He got sick?
No, he got sick of shit breaking.
Oh, yeah.
Audio stuff?
Yeah.
Or bag stuff?
Audio stuff.
Everybody I've ever known that has bags, like, it's nothing but trouble.
Well, yeah, and it kind of
bag your thing. Like, don't bag your.
How much money you put into it? Like the truck that Yui's got is he doesn't have any problems with the bag system. But like, it's a 2005 that was like 45 grand. It was a really fucking It also had like 75 or 80,000 miles on it. So it's a Texas truck.
Oh my god!
But it's a really nice truck. We had
I guess
the audio. So
that's retarded.
Yeah, he was done with audio.
Is he done with audio? Why can't we ever catch up with him?
He doesn't like do anything other than play video games and work right now. Like that's what Yui does.
What does he do for a day job?
So he manages the United States side of his parents' company. They do horizontal radar locators, and it basically uses magnets to tell you where the tip of a drill is when you're doing drilling for lines or pipes or stuff like that. There are 1 or 3 companies internationally that are like the 3 main companies. So
that's fascinating.
It's a little bit more important than car audio. So
is it though?
We kind of get like shoved off to the side. So
is it though?
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, yeah. Well, anyway, your day job is JY, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is Everyday Audio's number 81. I'm Skipper One. That's T Fade with his new fancy star of a bright light. It's ridiculous. It's the sun. It's a bay window.
Jesus.
And we were fortunate enough. He's been on the show maybe once or twice before. Just rant twice. Yeah, just not talking.
I was on to rant once, and then
oh yeah, you were.
We did the kicker.
Yeah.
So,
but never had him on. Yeah, him and who came on? JP too?
Yeah, Trump hat.
Wait, did you come on 3 times? No.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. I know you came on.
I was supposed to be on in the beginning, and then like we just couldn't get together schedule-wise.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I always wanted you on for the JY thing. I don't give a crap about kicker stuff. Who does? Yeah. L5s. What's that about?
Hey.
Faye got cringe right
there.
They
replaced the L5 with the L7R, and those are actually some of my like favorite kicker subs that don't cost a bunch of money. So.
Nah, nobody likes.
Are you like affiliated with Kicker? Do you work for them, or do they just sponsor? Are y'all just partnership?
No, so realistically, we were just sponsored by them. So that was a marketing thing that we did with Kicker. We're still tied really close with them. So I'm in touch with all the like Kip and Bill, and I actually text Irby once or twice a week, just kind of keep in touch and keep them updated on projects that we're doing and stuff. So we're like kind of affiliated, but we don't have like any paperwork or anything. It's all just kind of shake on hands, and if they want to do a project with us, we'll kind of sit down, have a literal meeting with like the board to see like how involved they want to get, what we need to do it, and stuff like that. So.
But y'all are actually dealing Audio Frog now, though, right?
Yeah, we do sell Audio Frog. Andy has been really cool over like the last 2 years. We started following him, and I got to meet him the first time at K-Fest Dallas last year. And me and Hunter got to sit in on his class and have our minds like blown.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
The way he describes sound, like I guess I never really thought about it, but a sound signal is literally one sine wave, and then it modulates inside of itself. So like your bass frequency would be like the wave that you're looking at if it's going through one channel. And then like your voice would be modulating inside of that. So I didn't know any of that. Like,
right. It's an infinite number of sine waves inside of a different sine wave. Yeah.
Yeah. So Andy's like this massive wealth of knowledge, and he likes to smack down on people sometimes, which obviously I love.
Yeah.
So
he has one of his talents is being able to explain like a really high level concept at a very low level. You know what I mean? Like he has he has a talent for being able to break something down where most lay people can understand it.
No, he doesn't. No, he does not. He does not. He doesn't dumb himself down for normal people to understand. If you don't understand, fuck out of here.
That's also.
I mean, and I don't care. That's great. That's great.
Well, it depends on what we're talking about too. Because I mean, if he starts getting into stuff on phase, I start getting lost like pretty easily.
Well, here's the thing is, there's a lowest common denominator. Like if you can't grasp this level of whatever he's talking about, then it's not going to make any sense.
Right, right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm not saying he doesn't help people, but I mean, he's not going to like. He's not going on doors for days and explaining how to align shit.
Well, that's because those guys cannot grasp this level of understanding of certain
they won't listen
concepts.
to him either.
Yeah, right. That too.
I've actually talked to him about doing like a little video series and bringing in some of the people that we work with, and he was completely uninterested because the people that watch videos are not probably the people that are gonna follow the advice.
I love it. Me.
And like that's not hating on anyone. That's just if you're gonna do the level of DSP tuning that he talks about, you're willing to sit down and read 5 pages. Like that kind of just goes hand in hand. So it makes sense.
He also, a lot of his stuff is for the professional too, like to be able to get it in, get it repetitive or repeat a really great result and get the fuck out. Like, you know, he's not there to teach you how to get a 1/48th octave perfect RTA. You know, he wants you to get it in, get it out. He's a professional. Now, don't get me wrong. He'll tell you himself that he doesn't know how to tune a car to win a championship. Mm-hmm. He knows how to tune a car to make it sound good.
Yeah, and that's just honestly, that's like he could tell you how to tune it. He just wouldn't tell you to tune it to that house curve realistically. Yeah. All the phasing stuff comes in. His imaging stuff, I think, is pretty on par with what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But the overall sound, and I agree with him. Like we don't even use his curve. Hunter uses a modified version or exactly the version of Jeffrey Hall's curve. So we really like that sound.
Well, if you've ever heard Jeff's curve, it sounds like assholes. So shout out Jeff. No, Jeff Hall's car sounds amazing. That guy, no one fiddles
in there. Oh.
No one fiddles with their car more than Jeffrey Hall. I don't know if anybody watching is friends with Jeff Hall. If you're not, go, because like no one rubs on their car more than Jeffrey Hall.
Yeah,
that's gotta be mad.
2012 Mazda 6. That dude, like no one like shines their tires more than Jeffrey Hall. Or I don't know. He's a crazy person.
That's got to be maddening because it's probably like a crackhead always chasing that first high when you first heard it. So like you're constantly tinkering with stuff, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, and like the street battle car, we were never like fully satisfied. We were always like take it out, make slight adjustments. Hunter's F350, every time I get in it, it sounds a little bit better. At some point, hopefully at some point that stops. Like I can't imagine it can continually get better. But like the best thing that I can use to describe it is you can hear the guitar pick on the individual ribs on the string. Like that's like the level of detail that's in the music now. So, and we were listening to some rock on the way to drop off some packages today, and I couldn't tell if the song was hot on because he was using the distortion pedal. And I couldn't tell if it was like the speakers hot or if I was at like a concert and that's how the guitar would sound, just because that's that distortion pedal doing its thing right.
Yeah.
And it was just the distortion pedal. So yeah, it's really weird, the difference. Like you can get a pretty good sound out of no DSP. Don't get me wrong, but the levels that you can kind of go up are huge. So you can get a lot of it done with $150. $250, the Dayton DSP, the DD-DSi2, and then like our mid-range one that's probably the go-to most of the time is the JL Tweak. And then if you want more than a one-seat image, then you probably need to use like the Helix. So But that's like a $700 DSP, and getting people to spend $700 for a little bit better sound is tough.
Hey, there's Jeff Hall. Just talking about you because your ears must have been burning. Yeah, a lot of that is the drivers that you're using too. So, I mean, that's like people think amps are the biggest thing in the world, but you got to start at the drivers. If your speakers can't do their thing, then the rest of it's going to suck.
Yep. Yeah, Hunter's three-way set retails something like $1,800, and if you're looking for that level of detail, it's 100% worth it. Most people are not gonna want to pay $1,800, and they probably don't want that level of sound quality either, and that's okay. Like there's a ton of good brands out there. Obviously, Kicker makes a lot of really good. I've been teasing them about not having an IQ three-way a lot for the last month. Because I had somebody ask me on one of our posts, they're like, so would you buy the IQ 6.5s components, or would you buy the GB three-way? And I was like, you can buy 3 sets of the Kickers for the same price you can buy the Audio Frogs, but you're not going to be able to image 3 sets. Like you're going to buy 3 DSPs at that point and have fun.
Dude, the GS stuff is legit. I have a lot of the GS stuff.
I want to play with that a little bit more because, like, you can put together a 3-way set there for really decent price, and I have a feeling that it's not going to be night and day difference between the GPs. So
no, his design philosophy is the same. It's all low distortion stuff, but the GBs take more power. They throw a little harder.
Yeah, we have
the GB 60 is like it displaces as much as an 8, so you don't need an 8 and you get a 6.5. So it's crazy. Anyway, let's get off of the SQ shit before people have a fucking connection shit in the chat.
I like listening to it. It's interesting, but
Skip he's closet SQ because he knows he likes his sound in his truck.
I know what good things sounds like, but I also like my louds.
Yeah.
When will amps use Wi-Fi? Not anytime soon because Wi-Fi chips are expensive.
They got Bluetooth ones. Kicker been at Bluetooth ones, huh? No, didn't RE Audio have a first Bluetooth or not?
No, I mean Kicker's had the IQ amp for 6 years. So
yeah.
I think that was one of the first, if not the first. Trauma Car Audio's got a direct Bluetooth one now too. So that's cool.
I got a Trauma sitting in the garage that I have yet to take out of the package that I've got to test. Jesus Christ!
Whoops!
I've been busy messing with the BMW.
Yeah, no, those look pretty cool. It's cool to see somebody from the audio community do some new technology. So I give most brands shit for selling us the same thing for the last 10 years. So yeah, it's not that hard. Let's at least get some RGB amps. You can add LEDs with no fucking tooling cost. Come on now. Let's at least make it look cool.
LEDs are the least of my concern.
No, I know, but at least there would be something different about the amps from 10 years ago. So
I'd rather see somebody do something with the guts. I don't give a shit about logos or how pretty the case is.
Money. That all costs a boatload of fucking money.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, facts.
Jake's close though. He's got those US made amps. Those are pushing along. So I'm really excited.
That's what we need. We need the people with money to really push it. Kicker, Fosgate. I mean, Sundown ain't got Kicker money.
Kicker's got some stuff coming out.
Kicker ain't got shit.
Not revolutionary, but it's evolutionary. I think people really like it. Yeah, I don't I've stayed in touch, and they've told me that there's no big delays from COVID, but I know the rest of what's going on, and nobody's there for the most part for the R&D department, so they can't be getting as much done as if they were there. So I don't know. We're not allowed to talk publicly about any timelines or anything like that. So we'll see. It's really cool stuff though. I've seen a subwoofer move, so we can say that.
Subwoofers.
Just walk into the boardroom. I want lights and I want them now.
Right.
On the amps.
Sweatpants, T-shirt.
This is what I want.
RGB.
Boom. Does that just stand for red, green, blue?
Yep.
Okay. Fucking knowledge, boys. We coming out here with knowledge tips today.
Pearl.
Right. Acronyms on point.
Bro.
It's just be like that. All right. Fuck the SQ. I'm sorry, Jeffrey. We will have a full SQ thing where just nobody will watch, but it'll just be all SQ nerd talk. I like a little bit of nerd talk, but like I don't want to say
You
it.
guys need somebody else other than me on for that.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
I'm interested in it.
Like I've been told Faye like get like some full legit guys, you know.
Quoted himself. I just hear fart entertainment.
Yeah. For me, they hear from me.
What
Faye.
up,
Dude,
Jake?
that's like the screenshot that goes around everywhere.
You know who'd
Yeah.
be good is Nick Lemons from SI.
I've asked him
Oh yeah.
several times. I feel like, and
That's what speakers I run.
Yeah. If
His new stuff
somebody
looks
tag
nice.
him and or Jacob Fuller, make that shit happen.
Make them both say the same sentence, and it's gonna be the same exact voice.
You know what? I don't
They
know.
sound
He
exactly
can't come
the
on
same.
because he's actually Jacob Fuller.
He's gonna come on with a glasses, with a nose, and a mustache.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick Lemon, sir.
Like a Guy Fawkes mask with a voice.
There you go.
Yeah, that's actually who it is.
They got a big show coming.
Wait, what? Dallas, October?
When it's
Oh
cool
my
out.
God. Jesus. What are y'all doing
So I
to
guess
me,
the
man?
SAC finals got moved to next year.
I don't
Yeah, they
know.
canceled the whole thing. They
Bro,
went to
what is
21.
my life even about right now? Y'all got me out here like trying to flash friggin' computers instead of flashing DSPs.
And nobody told you to do that.
Bruh.
So this is Travis Young, JY Power. How did you get started into audio? Period. Because I'm saying you're like one of the guys like Jacob is. Like I didn't know nothing about you. Then all of a sudden, boom, there's lithium shit coming out like your butt. Like I like where did you start at in audio wise?
So, God, it was 2000, and this is all actually Jake's fault. So, but actually Brandon specifically, because Brandon used to live in Iowa. But
Brandon who?
Sparks?
Yep, Brandon Sparks over at Sundown. So it was 2009.
Late bloomer.
And yeah. Like I did a little bit of car audio stuff before this, but like the same little piddly stuff like everybody else does, like a little L515 on 1,000 watts or something like that.
That's Faye's wheelhouse. Still.
I like little stuff.
I like little setups now. Like I have a problem that when I do stuff, I kind of overdo stuff. So, yeah, as that can be seen. But I competed real lightly the year before with audio cue stuff and used DD stuff too. My first real sub was a 3518. But I broke that like most new people do. And then I'd always liked Sundown stuff, but I was like, yeah, that shit's way too expensive for me.
Still is. Yeah.
I remember.
I was like, I'm buying used. Like,
Yeah.
I'll buy everything used. It's cool. I'm not gonna participate in that. And so I was like, you know what? Like, let's just give it a shot. I'm gonna send them a decently written request for a sponsorship with some pictures of what I've done. And they fucking accepted me. I was like, what? And yeah, so I was on Team Sundown then. That was cool. And like 6 months later, I saw that the company was growing, and there was a lot of people like that I was turned on in my local area to buy Sundown. And I was like, well, I kind of want to make some money off this. So I talked to Jake and Brandon, and actually became a Midwest distributor for 17 states for Sundown.
Sure.
Got a loan, got a buy-in, and I literally just started traveling around, doing shows, just learning people. Because I was a car salesman beforehand, so I kind of learned the best way to like get with people is to be face-to-face with people. So we didn't do cold calls or anything like that. We just drive around to shops and meet people and go to shows and just kind of absorb all of it. So that went on for about 2 years, and then I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a rash of warranties back in the day on before he switched away from Xenon. There was a rash of warranties because Xenon fucked him. Well, the way we were set up, we didn't have a warranty between the two of us, so we were doing our own warranties, and that sunk us instantly. So I think I filled like 20 something SAZ 1200 warranties, and it was just too much. So I ended up having to shut the company down.
What was the name? What was the name of the company? Was it have a name?
That was
or just
Top
you?
Dog. Top Dog
Gotcha.
Audio, and that was just me. So, and then I kind of bummed around. I didn't know what I wanted to do at that point. And one of my old dealers that I had signed up within the last year hit me up, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to help me distribute B2?" And I was like, I was like, well, what do you kind of want to do there? And he gave me a couple different ideas, and I was like, I don't know if like I particularly care for like that idea, but I'm definitely down to look at it. And that was Steven.
Yeah. Barber?
Danielson?
No. Yeah.
Wait, who? Steven who?
Steven Danielson of
Okay.
Twisted Sounds. So Steven sponsored me and my buddy Wesley that year. And, I went up a couple times and we talked through it, and I didn't see the instant growth potential for B2 as I did, coming out with a new company. So, and no hate against B2, it's great equipment. I love the amps. I just knew with the resources that he had that he wasn't going to be able to market and push and make this big on its own, where he could take his money and start his own brand and be able to start kind of new and be able to hit it from a different angle, where B2 is a really dealer-focused brand. Twisted was a direct brand. So, and that business model is we see kind of repeated over and over and over these days. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as they keep following through with everything that they're supposed to. But did that for about a year. What I did for him was we helped kind of figure out the rating system. I set up the quality control system, so I was the one that had him get the dyno and do the birth sheets and everything. Because I always really liked the kicker birth sheets and everybody else's birth sheets. So we got about 2 years into that, and I wasn't making any money from it. So my motivation levels were low, but I was up there. I can't remember what I was up there for, but I was up there either to help test through a batch of amps or something like that. And one of my buddies had ordered one of the juice boxes through me, the brand new juice box. I think we got I can't remember if it was a 40 or an 80. I think it was an 80. I'm pretty sure it was an 80. And shout out to Kevin. He is the man that brought Lithium to the sport first, and had a really good product too. I'm not quite sure what exactly happened there, but I think he kind of went on to other things. But Kevin brought everything too, and then Scotty was next.
Everybody shit on him. That's what happened. Nobody respected what he did, and everybody shit on his product. That's what happened.
I mean, we never went out and said
I still have a 20, a 40, and an 80 that I've beat up on for 5 years and never had a failure. But anyway, I'm gonna let you go on with your story.
No, you are right. Like publicly, he did get shit on a lot.
Because he was the first mover.
Tried beefing with him. Yeah,
he's the first mover, so obviously there's going to be growing pains.
Who was beefing with him?
Everybody.
Yeah.
No, and big.
No. I completely understand what Taylor's saying too. I mean, and he is pointing at some companies. Don't get me wrong. We're not gonna like point anybody out, but he is talking about some companies. But I think you're also talking about the general public too, because we all remember like the Note 7 incident happened at the same time that we all started selling lithium batteries. Like that was the same fucking year that we all started selling lithium batteries. And that was the first 2 years of the company. It was explaining to people like, hey, this is not the most dangerous thing in the world. No, it is actually better than AGM. So Kevin liked trying new things. The nickel metal hydride sticks were cool. There was some flaws there, not so much safety flaws, but like just those are really old tech at this point. So
I want to say
they were
Scotty.
cool, though.
I want to say Scotty said it, but like you had it was so new, people didn't understand it, and the whole process of backlash and all that was like getting into their heads, like teaching them what it was, you know, like how to treat it, or I should say, you know, like you couldn't just throw it in your car and run with it like you could a normal battery, like back in the day, you know. So that was the whole. I guess he had to take that beating, and then you know.
Yeah. No, he took
ass whipping, and everybody else like benefited from it.
Oh no, we dealt with that a lot too. We were one of the most vocal companies online. So like Kevin didn't necessarily like the confrontation. Like he was there to prove anybody wrong. Like he would go do a test, and he was the first one to like have good test equipment too. You know, Scotty's got pretty good test equipment, but he doesn't do a whole lot publicly. I still to this day use some of Kevin's videos for reference on like what AGM batteries do. So
we had Kevin on, like and that was the biggest. That was the biggest thing I told him was like, I don't see you online, and that's what matters. Like nowadays, like you have to either defend yourself or your company, or like you're just gonna get steamrolled.
That's probably the biggest thing that hurt him, and it's not so much you have to do it, but you have to have somebody or some.
Yeah,
if he was second or third, he would be rolling right now.
Right,
but he was a one-man show. And he was trying to break the whole industry by himself, and he just got overwhelmed. I mean, that's all. Like he's a solar. I
completely agree with that assessment.
Yeah, he's a solar guy. That's how he makes his living.
You can't attack this market as a one-man like project and do well. Like look at all the DIY guys. Like they'll get really popular, and then everybody hates them because they can't get stuff done quickly. And it's not because they're like scammers or anything like that. It's a lot of fucking work to do the marketing, the research, the development, the customer service. Like
I remember a lot of the complaints about Kevin's shit about the juice boxes were like the cases weren't fucking perfect. Are you shitting me? Like the corner is off by a 16th. He's hand building every one of these by himself.
Well,
like,
don't get me wrong. I get the customer complaint, but there's the flip side of that this is the first one of these to come out. So that, like you said, there's gonna be growing pains. There's gonna be things you have to work through over time. And it was just, I think like you said, it was too much for one person to really handle. So we got a second person in, like actually dedicated, like 2.5 years in. Before that, I was running myself into the ground. I guess we should reverse a little bit. We got off on a little tangent there. So anyways, I was working for Steven. So I brought this lithium thing to Steven, and we had our juice box, and I really liked it. And I think I've told T-Fade this before, but we had the juice box 80, really liked it. And at the time they were $3,000. We had bought it on pre-sale though for $2,000. And me and Steven talked, and he's like, well, let's see if we can get 6 more. And I was like, all right, cool.
Do you remember testing it? Do you remember testing it, like the first time you tested it? And it was like mind blown, right?
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, we pulled 800 amps out of a little itty bitty square the size of 2 Grip 31s.
Yeah.
And my mind was blown.
Crazy.
So, yep. And like I had to set it in for warranty because his first system the terminals didn't lock very well. And he fixed that like on the second run or something like that. He fixed those. So he didn't have a bad turnaround time. It was gone for like a month or something like that, including shipping. No problems there. But like I went to go buy 6 more, and I was like, all right, man. So what kind of a discount do I get for 6 more? And like I'm not like a somebody at that point, but like I haven't paid retail price on anything at that point in 5+ years. So Kevin's like, yeah, man, I can hook you up. And he's like, $2,900 a piece. And I was like, cool, man. Let me think about it. And I started learning about lithium at that point, because I was like, he just sold them to me for $2,000. I know he didn't lose money. Like we gotta, like, Kevin was thinking more normal margins, and we did not have normal margins for our first couple of years. We are working back into normal margins where we're actually a similar margin rate as your other car audio brands. So we can actually offer a normal point scale to dealers where they're like, hey, we can actually make money on batteries, and it doesn't hurt the cost of performance to like the customers. But that wasn't that way with greens. Like margins on greens sucked really bad. And to sell them at where we sold them at, we had to have really low overhead. I wasn't able to pay myself for a really long time. And even when I did start paying myself, I don't make a ton of money off of this. I make enough to live. So I took this idea to Steven. We found the K2 cells. We had talked to them for a little while, and we had a prototype, and it was supposed to be a Twisted Sounds battery. And then last minute, Steven pulled out and said, I talked to my insurance guy, and it's too much liability, so we don't want to do it.
Steven Leslie Danielson.
Yep. And I was just like, I have like a couple $1,000s in dealing with this right now. That's kind of a dick move, because this was my part of the company that I was actually supposed to start making money on. And so I called Yui. And
how do you know Yui?
Yeah.
How did you know it? Were y'all friends already?
Yeah. So back when I ran Top Dog, you guys remember Yui's 4Runner, right?
Yes.
That was partially built in my old shop, so for Top Dog, and then I sold him all the equipment and everything. So,
off on a tangent. That was one of the first vehicles I saw, like just built to play lows. Like it just moved air like an animal, and it was so like a different thing. Like the porch was like firing right into like the loading wall. It was just it was just nuts. I don't know. He still got videos of it on there, but I guess around the same time, 2011 or something, 12 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, 2010, 2011.
Yeah, something like
there's
that.
a female in the chat. What the shit? Somebody titled on somebody.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
Same thing. Yeah.
Somebody titled on.
So Yui came in with the big role.
Yeah, basically Yui's the financial back of the company. But Yui did more than that. So Yui's a mechanical engineer by trade. He also has a business degree. So he not only did that, he helped kind of train me to learn what I needed to learn analytically, and helped kind of build some of the calculators that we still use today. So we have bus bar calculators that we use to design everything in the batteries. So,
hey, correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't mean to interrupt you, but was it Yui, like, didn't he like build his own DIY lithium sort of back in the day, or no? Am I tripping?
No, he just did the excess batteries back in the day.
Oh, okay. So he didn't have anything to do with like experimentation back in the day.
Nah.
Okay.
So experimentation at this point was like us. There weren't really anybody, at least publicly, trying to figure out lithium. This is mid 2015, so it's before August. So we're like 2 months before August 2015, and I go to Yui. We talk about it, go over what we think like the market cap is, and blah 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 blah, and we have a hard time deciding on a name, so we just mushed our initials together. Actually, the company's registered as Jin Young Power, but we have a DBA for JY Power because no America guy is going to buy a Jin Young battery. So yeah, that is 100% marketing. But who needs to know what it means? Knowles?
You tricked us, damn it.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, we started that, and within by 2016, so our first year sales were okay, for like a starting year, but 2016 we took off, and 2016 our revenue numbers increased, I think 450% from 2015. So we had 3 years of triple digit growth, and then supply ran out. That's when K2 ran. The factory had issues. They still to this day don't have power cells. So we're trying to work with them on some energy cell products and a couple other things, but it was just a really sticky situation there, where we were kind of left dead in the water. I had not been developing a ton of new products. Like I was working on some NFC stuff to like kind of bring in a competition battery, but that wasn't anywhere near what it needed to be. So we went dead in the water after like growing like a rocket for 3 years, and then we basically sat and developed for a year. So what little money we had, we kind of were really wise with, and we just started buying up every cell we could. So at that point, we had really only worked with cell manufacturers, and then we decided, we would open up to some distributors, because there were some cells that we just never were going to be able to get directly from the manufacturer. They either require like an ISO certification or something. But at that point, we're a known entity. So we actually have relationships with CoCam and then 2 other Chinese actual direct factories. So I think if we get the CoCam product out, I think people really like that one. So that'll be cool.
Where do you see these K2s like in their normal habitat, not car audio? What are they actually used for?
Where you're going to find them most of the time is, the utility line vehicles, the big trucks that go work on utility lines and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of times those are hydraulic and they run on the engine, and so you got to run the engine the entire time that they're being used. Well, where the power cells generally end up is in a replacement system there, to where they drive
stuck up top.
And no, they replace the hydraulic system with an electric system.
Oh.
And so in between jobs, when you're driving from job to job, you're charging now through a BMS and a lot more complicated system than we use, because they're running a 240 volt setup. But they use those, and then in between the job sites, they recharge off the alternator. So what that does is that saves the city and the company like ass loads of money from not idling these trucks 24/7.
Mike D actually has a really great question right there. I feel like one of y'all should be getting on that.
You're not going to see. No, that's not accurate to where we use batteries at. We're not going to see fuel gauges. So especially like a coolant counter.
No, I feel like a column counter, it should be viable for the current that we use, though.
I mean, maybe in some of like the newer products that we're working on, but like part of the problem is I don't want to waste the resistance. So right now we're working on a new product for 2021. I'll release a little bit about it, but it's a full BMS protected unit. It's meant to be in the Group 31 cost range. But the biggest thing that we're having to develop this, and everything is being developed from the ground up. The cells, we're actually working with a manufacturer that's tweaking a cell for us. The case will be all ours. The BMS brain is all ours. And all the coding on it will be all ours. And then we're working with someone from Russia on a relay system. Yeah, Yeah, I might be able to put one of those on.
Yeah, like let's just send those out, and we're good.
I've owned an electric car, right? It tells me how much battery I have left. I own a cell phone. It tells me how much battery I have left. Like, why
Do you know
can't
how much current you're drawing through your electric car?
Yeah, a lot.
Like 80 amps. No, that's why it's high voltage.
It's a lot.
Nah.
Fucking Fade don't know.
Running through,
it's a lot.
Like 1 aught gauge cord.
It's 100.
Like Chezzy's the perfect example of this.
Fade said it's fast
like
from a dig.
Yeah, about 80 amps. Actually,
pulling 40 amps. Yeah.
Fade said it's fast from a dig.
Well, look.
So it's
figured out.
It's a 4 gauge line.
Figured it.
Well,
it's big
in big units, it's not viable. It's not viable. Yeah, for lower draw.
My idea was to use several. And split it up. No,
you want to pay for it.
Somebody needs to. Somebody needs to.
No. I don't mean the development. I mean like all the extra hardware that it's going to take, because to get a battery that does the equivalent of 2 Group 31s to be on a relay system, I'm using 1,000 amps of rated relay.
How about this, right? Let's just say you're drawing 1,000 amps, right? What's a reasonable column?
He froze. Did he freeze for everybody else?
Yeah, he did freeze. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
in his stupid fucking face. Look at him. Right. Show 81, he still ain't got nothing going on with his networking. It's embarrassing. I don't know what he was talking about.
So I think he was asking how much a 1,000 amp cooling counter would cost. And the problem is I wouldn't be able to use 1,000 amp because 1,000 amp cooling counter in and of itself probably wouldn't cost that much. But to have minimal line drop, and I'm really picky. Like if I have more than 0.1 drop through the entire pack, we start beefing stuff up. Because the difference between me making a rating in the public's eyes and me not making a rating might be 0.2. Mm-hmm. It might be 0.2 volts difference that rating is scrutinized to. So if I'm going to build a battery, I build it with the least amount of loss. So 4,000 amps of coolant counting, I would probably have 4 amps worth of the actual price to get a minimal drop. Hopefully.
Just contain it in mineral oil like that one guy wanted to do online.
No, well, okay. Before I got kicked,
nobody cared.
My idea was
the chat was amazed.
But yeah, right. My idea is you can split it up and approximate, right? So if you have 1,000 amps and you spider that line out to several different
that's what you would do.
Equivalent sections, and then you just use you just measure one and assume the resistance is the same. Resistance and current transfer is the same between the other 9.
Well, it'll be off by a little bit because the measurement device itself. But like stuff like that.
But it's a Hall effect measurement, isn't it?
Well, it depends on how you're doing it. So you can use a shunt, and shunts like we have to have a lot of. It's like a clamp basically. You're sending voltage through a transistor, and I think what it does is it measures the amount of voltage drop in the transistor, and then it knows either off that or off the temperature. It's one of the two, but it knows off of one of those two things how much current's going through it. And then there's like your basic clamp meter. So and that's going to be your Hall effect where it's measuring the electrical field coming off.
Right.
So
basically my idea is you have a 1/0 or 2/0 going from here to there, and in the middle somewhere you split it up to 10 8 gauges, and then you just put your column counter on one of the 8 gauges and assume, and then like do the compensation. Like that cannot be that hard.
Well, it getting it to actually read correctly, because here's the thing, those Coulomb counters and a lot of those, if you ask people that have like the marine batteries that have them in them, they're close, but they're not super duper like on. And there's a problem with that more so in car audio than there is in boating, because in boating you throw it in the boat, you charge it up, throw it in the boat, go out for the day. You are going to be counting coulombs in and counting coulomb out at the same time almost, because of how drastic the beat is on a car. So it's getting it to accurately show you something is, yeah. So he's bringing up the same kind of thing that I was talking about. It's a lot of duty cycle, because and that's one of the reasons why we like 4 times things. So if 1/0's good enough, we're going to use 4 runs of 1/0. And it's because we also have to not only like have the least amount of drop, we also have to deal with the heat from that drop, because the batteries themselves heat up. And when the battery heats up, I don't want a bunch of extra electronics heating up, feeding into that. The maximum that we are allowed to really work with is 140 degrees. But the problem is I have to leave overhead in there, because where is this battery being used? Is it the middle of the summer in Arizona, and it's the car's 135 degrees right now, or are we in Canada and it's -30? If it's -30, we don't so much have to worry about heat concerns. But the more of these parts that we have a decent amount of current running through, each one of those is going to have a loss, and a pretty decent loss. It all, when you think about MOSFETs get really hot. That's why your amplifiers get hot. So it just breaks down to like a kind of a value, and me chasing my tail, keeping current drop to a minimum. Because while you were dropped, I was making the point where like our ratings will be scrutinized to the 10th. So we do everything we can to eliminate as much drop as possible. So, and it's just not going to be super duper accurate unless we put a lot of money into it.
We could just go by voltage. I mean, really, like if your shit is resting low, then it sucks.
How do you know it's resting when it's on the alternator? Like that doesn't tell you anything car on.
Okay, so there's no way to tell if your battery's healthy. 10-fold. All right.
No. While the car's on, like you can tell if your battery's healthy while the car's off. You can just measure the voltage at that point.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You got to charge it sooner or later, and you got to rest it sooner or later. Voltage is it not a decent gauge of where you're at in a state of charge?
There's 2 kind of caveats there. Yes, it is, for one. 2, it depends on what kind of balancing you have installed. So it doesn't matter if it's an LFP battery or if it's an NMC battery.
Right, you gotta tell the people how do they know if their lithium is about to blow up?
Well, is it over 14.8?
Smoking?
Also that, what is this thing about, like, what is everyone's obsession with high voltage now? Like, isn't that weird how it's 12-volt world?
It's switched.
Yeah. It has, and it's actually caused a lot of problems too.
Yeah. It always has. It always has.
I remember like asking about 14-volt batteries back in the day, and everybody being like, screw 14-volt batteries, they're not worth it. Just if you're gonna do that, go 16-volt and do a separate alternator.
Oh my God, I've heard that same exact thing on a forum. Like that same exact thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's cool and all. But here's the thing. I did it in the Jeep for Billy Goat. Billy Goat's got a 90 amp hour proto LTO, and the battery was really cool. Like, don't get me wrong. I could play for half an hour and have great voltage. After about a half an hour, now this is us playing full tilt in like at a show type deal, so it's not gonna be quite the same as driving around town. You get a little bit more used to driving around town. But these higher voltage batteries, specifically the LTOs, they're higher resistance. Nobody talks about resistance when we're talking about batteries anymore for some reason, but the resistance dictates how much it's going to draw off the alternator. So if like our HP40 is a quarter of the resistance of like a Yinlong 40, so it's going to pull considerably more off the alternator to recharge itself. And we've tested every single LTO out on the market down, except for down per sound. Those are so new. We haven't like tested those yet. I know what cells they're using. They're pretty cool. Looks like a cool little battery. But LTO is cool for shorter demo type situations where you're on for half an hour, off for a little bit, on for half an hour, off for a little bit, and that suits the needs for a lot of people. It also doesn't suit the needs for a lot of these guys that want to play their system for 4 or 5 or 6 hours at a time. So, like, there's a spot for it, and I think there's a spot for CMAX. I think the guys that are competing right now, I think CMAX is probably your most competitive space-wise product to pull power out of such a small little area, and still maintain a certain voltage. But like when I did that to my Jeep, every time I charged up, my gauges started flying. Like the truck ran fine, but none of my gauges worked. Like it wasn't like actually drivable. So, it's not going to happen with everybody, but most customers are still 14.8. Like people online are doing a lot of higher voltage setups, but as far as like what the battery companies are selling, the battery companies are all still selling 12-volt batteries because there's not going to be a huge wave of people willing to modify to 15 volts charge systems.
My car is a 12-volt car. Yeah. I mean, the alternator that I would get is a 12-volt alternator. So if you can't sell me a 12-volt battery, I don't want it. That's just me. So, maybe there's crazy people out there that want to run 27 volts. I don't know. I don't care. But that's not me. I'm a 12-volt guy.
We have some limited production stuff. Like I mentioned, we have a deal we're working on with ProCam right now. We're developing a product with them. That is an oxide chemistry that'll charge. It's allowed to charge in the 16s, but safety reasons, realistically, like in the safety testing of all these cells, if you undercharge them just a little bit, the safety goes up like tenfold. Like you never have problems with the cells as long as you don't overcharge them or charge them to their max. You can take almost any cell on the market, and if it's at 50 to 60% capacity, almost every single one of them, you put a nail in and be like, look, there's nothing happening. Overcharge that cell and have it be warm, and then do the same test. You'll have flames with like a lot of batteries on the market right now. That is a test that literally almost nothing can pass. I've gotten LTO cells to pass it. LTO cells are kind of a caveat, and they're really expensive new. If you look at all the new LTO products, they're expensive. So people aren't really willing to do that and modify the system on a large enough scale for us to develop or to put too much development behind anything like that.
So what do y'all got coming down the pike? What are you still selling? Like, tell the people what's going on.
So right now, the biggest thing we have coming out is the HP40. So that is a 40 amp hour. We've got rated at 450 amps out. I've got one of the proto packs here. It's kind of ugly. I don't know if I want to show this one to people, but it actually beat its spec. So we were pretty happy to see that. We developed a whole new system for this. So like for people thinking it's the same as some of the other previous products we've been building, we've made some pretty big changes to this. So I love the new aluminum case too, because did I drop? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, the new aluminum case is pretty cool. It'll stop people from shipping these and them getting demolished in shipping. So that'll be
these
cool.
random sizes, like whatever fits your cells, or are they standard?
No, this is everything for this is tooled for us. So the busing
SAE
system
sizes.
is tooled for us.
Okay. I mean, it does.
The case size. Yeah, no, that's what fits. That's what fits the cells. And it's pretty tight on the inside intentionally. Like we didn't want to waste too much space. We gave up a bit of space by putting the feet on the sides. I did not get enough time to test putting them on like the faceplate. but I've never loved that amps have the Pete on the faceplate because I just don't feel like it's as good as of a connection.
Yeah.
So the Pete added a little bit more width than I would have liked, but
I actually like that because if you think about, I know a lot of people don't think about this, but if you try to secure a battery, a non-traditionally, it's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah. Yep. So, and I'm thinking about selling a little system that'll go with this, where that kind of slides into and locks in place. So,
what's that? What's that going to run?
The system for it, the interlock plate. I'd like to keep it under 50.
No, the battery itself.
$8.99. So it's the most cost-effective product we've ever released. So 2 of these will beat a black cased 80, and they cost about $200 less than black case 80 did retail for a pair of them. So
that's a 40 amp hour, and how much will it support?
450 amps to 12 volts over 30 seconds, and that's realistically going to be your music rating. We've done pulse tests on these up to 600 amps, but it's not going to pass. It's like 30-second test there, and the unit gets too warm. So these are realistically thermally rated. Like I said, we like to build that overhead in there because I don't know where people are going to be using these. So it's the first time we've ever included distribution on a battery. So people should hopefully cheer for that. It's got 4 spots. It's going to cover most customers. We will have an upgraded 8-spot input style from Jim's available. But
I like it.
And we changed the balancing on these too, because that was the 2 incidences that we had with black cases were, we can say that it was customer abuse from overcharging, or we can say we should build a balancing system that shouldn't fail in that situation. Yeah. So we improved the balancing system and moved to an active balancing system. So these will actually rest higher than like your old black cased 80s. These will rest anywhere from 13.6 to mid 14s. As long as there's not an imbalance, the balancer's not doing anything. But the balancer's rated for NMC also, so it can go up into the 16.4s before it starts having any kinds of issues. So
if I take the battery out of my random ass pawpaw car and put that in there, am I going to have any trouble?
You with a battery this size, you shouldn't. But there's this thing about lithium where if you have an idle drain in your car, since you're at a higher voltage, that idle drain goes up. It's an unregulated draw.
Can you run these with AGM?
Yes, but you would prefer to run them with an isolator. And you're actually going to see a hit to performance. We've shown this on the load tester. I need to make a good video of it. But a lithium battery will perform better by itself. So our rule of thumb, as long as you have 2/3 of your original underhood capacity in lithium, then you're good to go for a full lithium system. You can do a front battery delete. I like to just unhook the negative and secure that away so that the car's still all hooked up how it's supposed to be. You've got a charged battery under the hood in case you do ever have a situation where your lithium battery's died. So you just unhook that one in back, hook the one in front up, and go. That's how the Jeep ran, and it saved me a few times. So
I like it. I feel like it needs to be easier. My life needs to be easier.
Well, that's what I'm working on for my 2021 release. So there is a UHP line coming out, which stands for ultra high power. It'll be a full BMS unit. There will be no isolators. If it's gotten too high on voltage, you get a certain light. If it's gone too low on voltage, you get a certain light. If it's gotten too hot, you get a certain light. And it's got that relay system that I was talking about built in. So like I said, for a battery that's supposed to be equivalent to about 2 Group 31s in discharge, we have 1,000 amps output of relay system. So we're putting a lot of money in the development of that. It's still going to be small and compact, pretty lightweight. Not as lightweight as other options, but it's a full BMS unit. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing. When you don't have to worry about what kind of charger you put on it, you don't have to worry about if it's sitting there with other batteries. And I think that's going to be big for dealer adoption too. We've released a lot of information over the last month and a half, 2 months about lithium batteries. We've taken a lot of time to do blogs on the website to kind of help explain things, do fully proper spec sheets that, honestly, all of us should have had from the beginning, but we all didn't know well enough, or we didn't feel like we had time to do it. But with this release, we kind of wanted to do everything to the best of our ability. And I think that really shines through with the new website, with the new spec sheet, and the power chart.
How big is that one we just looked at for reference?
So it's about 12.8 by 8.5 by 4.5.
Okay,
so it's a little bit bigger than you would think of the old 40 amp hour batteries. So
what is that? That's like a G31 footprint, but about half the height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I think we're the 1%ers, right?
Mhm.
And most of the people watching this are the 1%ers. But I think to really break in, and I think what Scotty's trying to do is to get his shit, or what needs to happen is to be able to get batteries into the other people's cars. Like when people come into shops and they want an extra battery for their 1500 watt Memphis amp or whatever that someone's selling at the shop, and they don't want to put a giant lithium, or they don't want an extra group 31, they have a small lithium or whatever they can tuck away. Like that's where we need to go. Something that works with AGM. Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need. I appreciate.
I think that's what JP was shooting for.
I appreciate the stuff for the 1%ers, because I'm a 1%er. I like that stuff, but I think what we need is like seamless integration.
We need an everyday battery that anybody can use.
Yeah.
So that's like we are literally everything but the nuts and bolts of this battery we were developing from the ground up. Like I said, even the cells, we did take an off-the-shelf shell, tested it, decided that we wanted to change X, Y, and Z inside the cell. I'm not going to say what X, Y, and Z are. I'm not a chemist, so don't think I'm going in there tweaking the chemistry or doing anything like that. But there's fundamental physical ways about a way battery goes together, and we had some of those things changed to kind of fit what we wanted better and to help better manage the heat. So even the cells have been tweaked by us, but the battery management system is 100% developed for us. The relay system is 100% developed for us. So, and the case, obviously, I do the development on. So, I'm really excited for this. And the next case actually is used more as a heatsink. Like this case is more like the HP40 looks like the case would be a heatsink, but it doesn't make enough contact with the actual cells. Once we are ready to show the insides of these, we will, because we're really proud about how they go together. But you'll see that the case on the HP40 is isolated from the cells thermally for the most part. And that's so that each one of the cells wears evenly. We want all the cells to be the same heat, where if I have one cell on top touching the case and the rest of them aren't, that one's going to wear less than the rest of them because it's not getting as hot. So it sounds bad that you want all the cells to get hot, but we want them all to be the same temperature realistically. So this new case, we were able to work with the cells in a certain pattern where every single cell is contacted on the case. So every single cell is actually using the new case. So the new case will have a lot of little fins on it and everything like that. It looks like an old school amp. It'll be really cool. I think people will like it. So,
word.
I like it.
I want one. If it
works
with my 12
once I get one ready, I'll send you over one for review. I think you'll like it a lot, and we'll have one for about 3 months before we launch it. I'm hoping to have them out around January. So in about 3 months, I should have one for you to play with. We need people doing some long-term testing on these. I need to know what can go wrong in the BMS, what needs tweaked, what needs changed, stuff like that. So
I'm looking for a replacement. Is that going to work?
No, this is not a replacement. It's too small amp hour wise to be a replacement. So you would need like 4 of these before they would be suitable to be standalone. So, and at that point, we are developing a larger version of it, but it's going to take some time. And honestly, I feel like if I have these little $400 chunks that at least meet the old green discharge level price per dollar, which was about 24 cents a watt out. If we can meet that at that $400 price point and include a BMS, I feel like we're just killing it there.
Yeah.
So the cells are really high rate cells, which is one of the reasons why we have to thermally manage them the way we do. So yeah, it's going to be really cool product.
Awesome.
I'm really excited for it. So
I like cool stuff. Like
I like cool
there's
stuff.
there's so much happening. Like the last like a couple years. Like just
yeah.
skyrocketing. Every month I see like a new cell. I'm like, the fuck is this? I didn't even know what the old ones was before this one came out.
Mm-hmm.
Neo, lithium, and full
Yeah.
red, all the things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like everything's gonna be
popular.
Yeah, everything's gonna be affordable, cheap, small. This is.
Meanwhile, we're using 1920s technologies for our alternators. Like they need to get on that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, again, it comes down to like what the margins are. You know, like none of these companies are either big enough or have the margin to sit down and do any real development. Like everybody has to buy stators from Denso or use stators or whatever, because Denso refuses to work with an alternator company.
Well, shit on
because
them.
they know what it does to the alternator. So you literally have to become this like not multi-million dollar, like multi-hundreds of millions of dollar company to be able to come up with the top-down integration that these guys have to be able to make those kind of products. It's crazy.
Skip, let's start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
If you get Patrick
$100 million, you should be able to pull it off.
Got that.
We got it. We got it. Tell Patrick stop supercharging his fucking Mustangs and get on that.
Yeah, for real.
Loser. Just to sell it.
Hey, just full bridge my rectifier. Be done with it.
Yeah, just start throwing solder at it till something happens.
And I'm not like an alternator genius,
MOSFETs.
I'm pretty sure that he'd go in and change from like a parallel connection to series or vice versa.
Yeah.
So basically,
now we're talking.
Like shorten out the alternator.
Yes.
Yeah. Put it back
all
together.
The things. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just start welding stuff. Yeah. Just start welding shit and spin it faster. I don't know what it'll do, but it's gonna be hot for a second.
I remember Scott had that idea, or they were working on. I think they were working on with the guy that did the MLA module, a high voltage alternator package, to where you would charge like 250 volts out.
Yes.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Modulate it down. We're good.
How many times did Chesy get hit by his battery bank?
Who?
I think his hair. Chesy.
Oh, Sencheezy? Yeah.
He got electrocuted multiple times. Him and people helping him got electrocuted multiple times, like badly.
That thing's coming back, you saw?
That's why he trades Forex now. He's not messing with car audio.
That thing's coming back. It's in the shop right now. It's coming back.
Is it?
Yeah. I saw him post the other day. Yeah. Well, he's gonna be nice with high voltage now. He'd have a lot less space.
Open up your car, T-Fade, and tell me the first thing it says on the battery.
Yeah?
Do not touch.
Nah, bro.
Do not open without a fucking degree.
Right.
Nah, I gotta
be hacking into it.
I gotta pull apart VIP card, bro. We're good. I'm a lithium dealer. Get at me.
Yeah.
I got one.
Like,
look, I gotta get out of. I gotta hop off, but I got one story to share before we get off, and it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Right. So I work with.
Buckle up.
I work with people, and we have a fella that works there, and he's a husky fella, and he's bald. So I come into work the other day, and my coworker, yeah, I do. My coworker's like, "Hey man," we call him Baby J. His name's Baby J. He's a husky bald fella, and my coworker goes, "Dude, somebody took a picture. Somebody caught a picture of Baby J hooping it up the other day." And I was like, "Really? That's weird." So he's like, "Yeah, he was like dunking or something. I don't know." So anyway, he pulls a picture up, shows it to me, and it's Skip. It's Skip's picture when he was dunking naked.
Are you serious? Dude, I just love that I'm out there.
Like, just random people.
Did you lose your mind?
Random people. I did. I lost my shit. I was like,
did you say, bro, I could call him right now?
That's Skip. That's Skip. That is not Baby J.
It was just on his phone?
Yeah, he pulled his phone up.
You got creepers, bud.
I fell out. I fell out of my chair.
That's the
It's
greatest.
worldwide.
Dude, how did you hold that story till now, man? Like, I like to know these things.
I know. I wanted to tell you on stream because I was gonna type it to you the other day, but I wanted to tell you on stream.
Faye tried to jailbreak his BMW.
Oh my god! It started. It finally started. I had to keep it over 13.5 volts.
Oh, what'd you do? Pull the fuel pump fuse?
No, I'm just
Faye's trying to get the whole power out of that thing.
I'm just trying to flash the DME, the ECU.
Oh.
But if it dips below 13.5 volts, it like bricks the whole fucking process.
BMWs
So I had
are
to
some of the
like
most
constantly
frustrating
hit
cars.
my stupid start, stop, and hook up some excess power super caps to try to take the load.
Yep.
And I finally got the son of a bitch flashed to stage 0. Woohoo! Where it starts. I'm like, dude, that was ridiculous. It was literally the definition of insanity because I kept doing the same thing over and over and over.
Mhm.
And I kept going into my closet and finding different Android tablets to pull out and then different OTG cables because all the fags on the forum kept telling me, oh, it's
PC.
your cheap ass OTG, it's your cheap ass Android tablet. Bruh. Also, you're retarded. That was the other one. That I'm retarded. And I'm like, granted.
Nailed it.
Granted. I get that.
I'm from Louisiana. Slow down.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, I got to get out of here.
Cool.
Yeah, man. We had a good time.
Yeah.
We got to have a part 2, man.
For real. For sure.
Yeah. I want to talk about the kicker and the kicker cube stuff.
Yeah,
later.
we got more shit to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun times. Oh God, what is
Cool.
I
that?
got to get a different
I
filter.
think I got somebody at my door.
Perfect timing.
Is it the J or the Y?
No, I'm at Vegas now. So
Gang.
still in Iowa.
Yeah, get Hunter on here too next time.
Yeah, we gotta see on
Hunter's
his
camera
face.
shy.
He's been in the
Super
freaking
camera shy.
chat all the time, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, that's not a camera though. That's him.
I know,
hiding
but,
behind
like,
his animation.
Yeah, stop being a loser, Hunter.
He's scared I'm going to ask him a difficult question. He's not.
He's scared of all the women he's gonna attract or something. I don't know.
Oh God, that kid has to beat him off him.
beat him off.
Yeah, no, it's the other way around. Zing, 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 zing. All right, appreciate you being on, man.
Cool.
We're gonna have you
See
back
guys.
later.
He jumped off. He
No,
hopped off.
no, I hit him. I hit him
Oh,
off.
yeah.
I hit the axe.
You
I can't
cut the hard line?
believe you like held that story from me.
I
so
know,
long.
it was killing me. It was killing me the whole time.
Like, how did he find it? Am I just out there on the interwebs?
Maybe you are.
Like, is there like a subreddit
Dude,
fat naked guy dunks?
As soon as he showed that picture, I fell out of my chair. Yeah, that's Baby J.
That's the hilarious thing ever. Now I gotta see a picture of that guy.
Yeah, I'll pull him up.
And I better be way smaller than him. I'm just saying. No, don't tell me that. No, well, not way, but like. I mean, he ain't got this going on.
No, he ain't got that going on.
He ain't got that going on.
Oh my God!
Look at this like ripple right here.
Holy
I don't know.
shit!
That's all I got.
All right.
All right, we're gonna try to not miss a week from here on out.
Maybe we'll
The
do
whole-
a supplemental. Maybe we'll do a supplemental.
Yeah. For the rest of the year, we're not missing a fucking week.
Not a single. Not one.
Every Tuesday. I don't care if Fade's at work. Tuesday. Brett's here. Skip's here. Why did I say my real name? We out here.
We out ya.
Later.